In our last video, we looked over the relationship between inverses and their derivatives. Let's look at a few examples with our work in this video. So practice on derivatives of inverses. So we're going to say that f is a function defined by this, and g is the inverse of f for all x values. And the point 0, 1 is on the graph of f, right? So if x is 0, 2 times 0 plus e to the 0, that's 1. And we want the value of g prime of 1. Well, since I have the point 0, 1, that implies that g prime of 1 is going to be 1 over f prime of 0. So I need f prime. So f prime of x is going to be 2 plus e to the x, right? The derivative of the 2x, the derivative of e to the x. And f prime of 0 is going to be 2 plus e to the 0, which is 2 plus 1, which is 3. So that means that g prime of 1 is going to be 1/3. And every problem involving inverses for our purposes in this introductory calculus course, you're going to have that relationship. The derivative of an inverse will be related to the reciprocal of the derivative of the function. Okay, let's look at the next. So here we have a function defined by g is the inverse, g of 2 is 1. What is the value of g prime of 2? Oh, well, we need to see what could we do with this. We don't know anything about g, but if g of 2 is equal to 1, then f of 1 is equal to 2. So therefore, g prime of 2 is going to be 1 over f prime of 1. So we need f prime of x. Well, f prime of x is going to be the derivative of x cubed plus x. That's 3x squared plus 1. And we need f prime of 1. Well, f prime of 1 is going to be 3 plus 1, which is 4. So that means that g prime of 2 is 1/4. And there we are, working with derivatives of inverses. One last problem. Now let's do it from a table. Okay. Table above gives values of differentiable functions f and g and f prime, the derivative of f, at selected values. G is the inverse of f. What is the value of g prime of 4? So here we have to do a little checking. So g of 4 is going to be equal to some number. All right. And f of that number is going to be equal to 4. Okay. So let us go through and check that this matches. All right. So at 4, right? At 4, we have that g of x is -2. So g of 4 is -2. And if we make our check, right, that means f of -2 is equal to 4. That's good. If that doesn't match, if we don't have that relationship, then these are not inverses. But we do. So what does that mean for us? That means for us that g prime of 4 is going to be 1 over f prime of -2. Well, what is f prime of -2? F prime of -2 is 3. So that's going to be 1/3. All right, so working with derivatives from a table. Key idea for these inverses is that I've got some A, B point and the corresponding BA point, and I know that G prime of A would be 1 over F prime of B, and conversely, f prime at A is going to be 1 over g prime of B. All right, so I can flip the A's and the B's if I wanted to, but that relationship holds regardless of the variable that I'm working with. Okay. Thank you very much for your time. Best of luck to you in your calculus courses.